Hello, 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 gorgeous humans, and welcome to Manifested. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of people are on here live. I'm only seeing a few human faces. So if you are here live, let me know that you are a human and let me see your gorgeous faces. Welcome to all of you joining in. Aisha looks like she is living her best life somewhere tropical and gorgeous. Amazing. I love seeing my former clients, my current clients on here. So say hello. Let me know where you are joining in from. Okay, I'm making sure that I'm recording because I have a tendency to forget to record. We are recording. We are all good. Oh my goodness, this is so exciting. Okay, welcome. You are in Vegas. Amazing. Vegas. Amazing. Amazing. So many humans live. I love this. Welcome to your manifested era. I am beyond excited to have you here. This is going to be an incredible 3 days together. Oh, she by the pool. So, Aisha, I will just out you right here, just completed the Live Free lifestyle. And here she is in Vegas by the pool, tuning in live to this experience. And it just makes me so happy to see. So, in case you don't know me, my name is Leah Brathwaite. If this is your first time joining me on a live event, I would love to know in the chat, just hit first time, pop it into the comments. I am a best-selling author. I am a spiritual teacher, a speaker, and a soul advisor. Melanie, first time, amazing. Welcome, love. And for the next 3 days, I am going to be your coach. I am going to be expanding your horizons and opening you up to first time experiences and maybe first times hearing certain philosophies. Oh my gosh, so many people first time. Angela, Ray, Audra. Sarah, welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting to have you guys on here for the first time. I would love to see your faces. So please don't be shy. We're going to talk about energy. We're going to talk about what it means to show up and to allow yourself to be seen. This is all part of the manifestation process. But in case you don't know what I do, I help high achieving women and some brave men who get thrown into the mix as well, who are brave enough to show up on events like this. I help you to create a life that feels as good as it looks. So we're not just going for the highlight reel, we are also going for feeling absolutely amazing, liberated, on fire, alive, in purpose, in love. And so today I'm going to be teaching you the spiritual secrets or the steps to manifesting a life beyond your wildest dreams. So this right here, this experience that we're all in this moment, all of you live, and there are over 136 of you that have registered for this. So I know a lot of you are catching up on the replays, but this is one of my manifestations, a vision that came to form for me through the principles that I'm going to teach you, through the practices and the methodology that I've created. And so this all started last week, maybe like a week and a half ago, probably 10 days ago, where I was standing overlooking the mountains. And I live here in Malibu. I don't know if you can see behind me, but we live on top of a mountain. I was with the love of my life. I had just received some really beautiful messages after a full day of coaching, and I realized, holy shit, this is it. Like, this is it. This is manifested. This is a dream come true, something that is beyond my wildest dreams that I ever thought was possible for myself. And it became so clear to me in that moment that more people need to know this. More people need to know how to do this. I mean, if we look around at the state of the world right now, definitely, we need more good-hearted people who have woken up to their power, who are creating better lives for themselves, because in doing that for yourself, you create a better life for the people around you. You being the most authentic, alive, inspired, and activated you has a ripple effect in the globe. And so now more than ever, it is my mission to expand as many people as I can to share this with so many more people. So I'm so excited that you are here. And I would love to know where you are tuning in from. I know a lot of you, it's your first time here, so welcome. I would also love to know where in the world you are. I am in Malibu, California. We got Aisha live, who is in Vegas by the pool. I would love to know. Ray is from London. Amazing. This is exciting. We've got already a global experience. Who else? Dubai. Amazing. Welcome, Angela. So cool. So we've got America, we've got the UK, we've got Dubai. I know there are more of you here. I know that you're hiding behind your cameras, and hopefully by the end of this, you'll be expanded enough and alive enough and bright enough to want to show your face. But let's go ahead and dive in. Melanie's also in California. Audra's in New York. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. NYC. Oh, cool. I love this. Okay, so I know that you could have been anywhere else today. Like there are infinite possibilities, which we will talk about more as we go through the next 3 days, but you could have been doing anything else, but you chose to be here in this moment with me and all of these incredible humans from all over the place. So, first of all, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for your presence, for your energy, and for showing up. And I also want you to know that you're not here by accident. There was something in you that felt called here, whether it was something that piqued your curiosity or something that spoke to you either through Instagram or through Facebook or however you ended up finding this experience. There was something that drew you here and you followed that little nudge. A lot of you for the first time, not knowing like, who is this person? What is she going to talk about? I have no idea what to expect, but you followed that feeling and you showed up here. So that inner knowing, that inner nudge, something in your inner GPS, what I call your soul, led you here. And that means that you are meant to be here. And so over the next 3 days, there is a message for you that you are meant to hear. There is something that is going to resonate, something that is going to unlock for you, something that is going to open for you. So I want you to listen and I want you to pay attention looking for that magic moment. And also, today is a very auspicious day. I didn't know when I set the date for this, it just happened to work with my schedule. But today, there is a new moon in Cancer. And this happened the last time, the last free event that I did back in May. We also happened to be on a new moon. Now, I'm not an astrologer, so I don't know all of the details about this, but I got an email from an astrologer, which is how I know that today is a new moon. And this particular new moon in Cancer, which is today, the 25th of June, is, first of all, I'm taking it as a sign that this was divinely orchestrated, but it is apparently the luckiest new moon of the year. So you are working with some really good energies here, following your intuition, being guided to this place, showing up for yourself to learn because right now, this is apparently a very rare and potent time that only happens once every 12 years. So, this energy brings with it the energy of love, of abundance, of miracles. And that's coming into your life right now. So, I hope you maximize and use this energy. I hope that you pay attention. If you're multitasking, stop. It's also currently 11:11 a.m. here in California. So, there's just all kinds of magic that's happening already. So, you might hear the very thing that will shift everything for you, or answer a burning question, or bring clarity to your next step. So I want you to pay attention because these 3 days could very well change your life if you let them. And that is what I want for all of you. I want you all to walk away more clear, more empowered, and able to manifest the life that is meant for you. And that's whatever that means for you, whether it's more love in your life, more meaning, more purpose, more confidence, more clarity, more peace, more ease, more wealth. I want you to know that it is all available for you. And now, not that long ago, I wouldn't have believed you if you would have told me that. I would have been like, oh, okay, sure. Not really believing it, just being skeptical. So I totally get it if you're like, I'm not 100% sure on this. Because when I was at my lowest, when I was disabled, when I was depressed, when I was going through a divorce, I just wanted to get through it, never mind manifest anything. I was just like, I just want to survive this. But now that I'm on the other side of it and through it, and living in this beautiful overflow, on top of a mountain in Malibu with the love of my life, doing work that lights me up, impacting people all around the world, I can honestly say that this shit works. This work works if you work it, if you allow it to enter into your consciousness, and if you take action on it. So I want you to know that I'm never going to teach you anything that hasn't been battle tested myself. I'm my first and best client and guinea pig. So I move through all of these processes first, and then I'm able to share with you proven and powerful shifts that will allow you to impact your life as well. So I want you to know that I'm not here to convince you of anything. I'm just here to open you up to possibilities, to awaken you to your potential, to show you that anything is possible, and to share the steps that have helped me and that have helped hundreds of my clients around the world to create lives beyond our wildest dreams. So I want you to know that what you believe to be true will be your truth. What you believe to be true will be your truth. So whatever you believe right now is your truth. And I'm sharing you my truth. If it resonates with you, you can adopt it as your truth. And if not, that's amazing too. That gives you clarity. That lets you know, like, oh, this is so not for me. I'm just going to try to find another way. I promise I won't take it personally. It doesn't affect my life if you believe what I believe or not. But I know that this works. So I hope that you have an open mind to be able to receive the transmissions that I'm going to be sharing with you today. So I want you to look around the room. And even though we don't have all of the cameras on, I want you to recognize that there are so many people here live and that you are not alone in this. All of you are here because you want to experience something. You want to expand in some way. You want to create something more for yourself. You want to feel more fulfilled. You want to feel more free. You want to connect to something that's bigger, better, deeper, to yourself, even on another level. So I want to invite you to actively participate in this activation. Use the chat. You're all on mute, so I can't hear you, but I can experience you through your relationship to the chat. And when you interact, it brings me life. It gives me energy. It knows it's landing. If you have questions, put them in there as well so I know where to go deeper. But I want you to be present to receive this and to ponder things on a deeper level than maybe you've experienced or thought about for yourself, to see things from a different perspective and allow yourself to experience different knowledge. So give yourself the gift of your time here. Your time is valuable. So allow yourself to get value from this time. Don't just sit and like be on your phone, like pay attention, because where your attention goes, that's where your energy flows. What you're focusing on is what you are expanding. So if you want to expand your consciousness, if you want to expand your awareness, if you want to expand your mind and your being and yourself to receive more, show up with everything that you've got. So stay present and focused for this hour. I promise after this hour, you can go back to whatever you were doing before. You can be in your scroll hole, you could be at work, you can be doing whatever you want. But for this hour, be here, use it. And over the next 3 days, I'm going to be taking you on a journey, one that you've probably not experienced before. I'm going to share with you the spiritual philosophy of manifestation and the proven methodology that has allowed me to go from somebody who had no confidence, had no real clarity on my desires, had no real direction, feeling lost, feeling stuck, feeling unfulfilled, to creating a life beyond my wildest dreams so that you know that this is possible for you and you know exactly how to do it for yourself. So I'm going to invite you to forget what you may already know about manifestation and open yourself up to a new way. Because if you were 100% solid in your manifesting ability, you probably wouldn't be here. You would probably be teaching this stuff. So when I talk about manifesting, I know that it's very much a buzzy word, but I'm not talking about how do I manifest a free coffee, or how do I manifest the perfect parking spot, or how do I manifest $1 million dropping from the sky. I'm not talking about random good luck. Hello, gorgeous. Another beautiful face that I get to see live.
Hi, nice to meet
Hi,
you.
you too. I am talking about your spiritual superpower to manifest. And what that means is to make evident. That's literally the definition of manifestation. It's not magic woo woo. It's like to make evident, to make clear, to make evident the life that you are meant to live. And so, how do you know what's meant for you? How do you know? The simplest answer is because you desire it, because you want it, because there's something in you that feels called to it. Because deep down, even though you might not know how it's going to happen, or even though you might not know why you want it, you know that you're meant for something more. So, whether that's a deeper sense of connection, of intimacy, of love in your relationships, it's because you know you're meant for it, if that's what you desire. Otherwise, you wouldn't know to even want it. You see it, you recognize it, you desire it, you know that it's meant for you. Maybe it's more meaning. Maybe you want more purpose, more fulfillment in your work, a different job, a different career. Or maybe you are feeling that you want to just feel more free in your life, that you want more passion, you want more joy, you want more aliveness. So, whatever your heart is calling for, I want you to know this first and foremost that it is meant to be yours because you were born to live a life that lights you up. Not one that drains you, where you're constantly questioning, like, am I worthy of this? Can I have this? Why don't I have this? No more frustration. That's not how it's supposed to be. And so, what puts your manifestations into motion is your spiritual alignment. But first, you need to understand how it works. So, that's what we're going to be talking about over these 3 days. So, you might be somebody who has manifested some things. Maybe you're really good in like career and you're like on fire and like that seems to flow really easily for you, but your love life is like hot mess express and you're wondering like, why can I do it here, but I can't do it here? Or maybe it's your love life is great, but your finances are in a bit of a disarray. Or maybe you've been doing all the things, but you're just feeling stuck or you're feeling frustrated or like something's missing. This right here is your invitation to unlock your spiritual source of fulfillment, of freedom, of joy, of wealth, of love, and abundance. So, before we dive into these spiritual philosophies, I first want to give you a little bit of a context around the philosophy that I have for life and the spiritual philosophy that we're going to be diving into over the next 3 days. Because the way that my consciousness works is I see things from a higher perspective, a higher spiritual perspective always. And I want to clarify that this is a spiritual perspective, not a religious context. Now, I grew up in the church for 30 years. I was in deep religious indoctrination. This is not that. When I left the church, that's when I became aware of my spiritual connection. That's when I finally had the feeling of divinity, of God, that I was hoping to get through all of those years at church. So, not religious at all. But with this spirituality, I want you to know that it's always, always grounded in a very practical and a very human experience because that is what is happening here. We came here to have the human experience. I believe that we are spiritual beings having very real human experiences. So we don't spiritually bypass things. We don't just say everything is wonderful. We feel our feelings, we have our thoughts, we move through the humaning aspect of life. And we're very grounded while we do it, while we hold this higher spiritual perspective. So I actually want to read to you very quickly something that I wrote in my book, A New Way of Life. This is a guide for transformation from living a lie to freeing your soul, because it was a divine transmission that came through me that ended up being in this book, a manifestation of a spiritual idea that is in written form here. And it explains things really beautifully and really powerfully. So you have this context. And so it says, I believe the same force that animates the universe is what animates our human forms. In that way, we have a spark of something divine within these bodies that carry us through our years on earth. To me, that spark is our soul. It's what connects us to the entire universe and to each other. It's what carries our potential and what drives us to constantly expand, love, and reach for infinity in our lives. But we are also human on a very physical planet with very real threats to our survival. And for this, we have a mind to process our surroundings and keep us safe. Just like everything else on earth, we are a perfect example of polarity, divine and human, light and dark, positive and negative, hot and cold. Both sides of the same coin, these extremes exist to allow experience. You can't know one without the other. A lie and the truth. It's your experience of both that lets you tell the difference. And so, this is the context that I want to share with you that this is not just overcoming obstacles with wishful thinking. This is using our humanity to experience everything that is meant for us. That desire to expand, that desire to grow, that infinite potential that is the truth of us, our soul, is what is alive in our bodies. So we have these aspects of ourselves that we're going to be going through over the next 3 days together. So, for today, we're diving into the spiritual aspect. We're diving into who you really are, your true self, your spiritual superpower, your soul. And so, this is where you're going to learn to decipher the signals that your soul sends you to help you to manifest the life that you are meant to live. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about more of what you want. This is going to be so fun. We're going to be talking about your desires. We're going to also be talking about how your mind creates, what blocks you from having what you want, and the ways that you can close the gap between wanting and having so that you can start to experience those things in your life. And then day 3, we're putting it all together to manifest your dream life now. So, I'm going to be talking about purpose and how love and money are manifested through your authenticity, not your effort. Now, I know that this might be a new concept for many of you because if, like me, you were programmed to be a high achiever, to just work really hard to get what you want, to know that there's like struggle and hustle and those types of ideas to receive or to get or to be worthy of what you want, this is going to change things so powerfully for you because this is what makes this idea of manifestation effortless. You'll learn that you can have it all. You can have so much more than you even imagined by doing less. This effortless manifestation. It doesn't mean you don't do anything. I don't want you to think like, oh, all I have to do is sit in my room and imagine things on my vision board. No, there's action that is required. Remember, you're a human operating in the world, but there is much less effort when you operate from this higher spiritual perspective. So I'm curious to know, what is your intention for the next few days? What brought you here? What are you excited to learn? Remember, the chat is your friend. You don't need to be afraid to put your ideas, your thoughts in there. Let yourself participate in the experience. And while you're filling in the chat, I will tell you what my intention is. My intention with this training is to support you into feeling more powerful around your life, regardless of your current circumstances. So I want you to know that what you desire is not only possible for you, it is meant for you. And so my intention is that you walk away with this expanded awareness of what's available for you. Because I know that my purpose on the planet is to expand consciousness, and my mission is to help you to live as your fully expanded self. And I do that by doing this work, and you do that by showing up and allowing yourself to receive. So, as we're going through this, I want you to become aware of one of the most limiting phrases in the English language. And I preface most of the work that I do with this because it is so important. The idea of, I've heard that before. Because when you think of that, oh, I've heard this before, like, oh, yeah, 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 I know this. It completely closes you off from receiving any new information, from hearing a different perspective. And it's just going to keep you limited in what you already know. So even if you've heard something before, I want you to listen with a different intention. I want you to listen with the intention of like, okay, what's different about the way that I'm hearing this? Or what's different about my circumstances now? I love this. Sarah's goal is to master manifestation while obtaining new insights on manifestation. Beauty, beauty, beauty. This is perfect. So, your reason for being here is tied to the information that you're going to be receiving. So listen for that. Ray is curious about how to manifest and believe in your goals without fear on your journey to achieving them. Amazing. We are going to talk about that quite a bit and we're going to dive into it today. So, even if you've heard something before, I want you to listen as if it's a brand new transmission because this constellation that we're in, this moment in time, is different than it's ever been. So, allow yourself to receive it in a different way and listen for the miracles, listen for truth, listen with the intention of finding a life altering seed that will be planted within you. Mina wants to create her own story and experience and remove all fear and other voices. Beautiful. Aisha, my goal is manifest a life of love and abundance. Yes, baby. To learn about what I have been experiencing. Oh, amazing. Would love to know more about that. So, speaking of truth, you know the truth by the way it feels in your body. There's no other way for you to know that something is true. Like I said before, you know the difference between truth and a lie because of the experience of it. So, truth feels like resonance. Truth feels like an activation, like a remembering or an aha moment. When somebody tells you a lie, you can usually sense that there's something not quite right. You might not know immediately or be fully conscious of it, but you have this sense of like, that doesn't really feel true. So I want you to watch for this feeling of truth and get used to this feeling. This is your practice ground because this is how your soul speaks to you. So when truth is operating in you, it feels good. It feels alive. It feels electric. And I want you to remember that. Look for those aha moments where it feels like, whoa, that just made sense to me. Because I'll let you in on this first secret of manifestation. Your body is the first and greatest manifestation that you've ever created. It's the vehicle through which you get to experience life. And it's what helps you to differentiate what's meant for you and what isn't. Aditi says, I want to feel validated and aligned on the path that finally feels like my calling. Ooh, I want to learn to manifest, especially when things feel uncertain. Yes, beautiful. So I want you to tune in and feel into what you're feeling now. How are you feeling? You might feel a lot of energy moving through you and just start to become aware of that. You don't have to say how exactly it feels. If you want to, I would love to know if it feels like, oh, this feels aligned. Oh, I feel like something's happening here. Like, oh, I feel like I'm going to learn something, or you feel an excitement, you feel a curiosity. Just notice what that feels like. And I'll let you know what you can expect. You can expect to hear things that will drop in like little seeds, like little intentions, and notice what that feels like. Because this is the first step in manifestation. So, we're going to talk about your spiritual superpowers today. We're going to be talking about who you really are. The magic that is within you to create manifestation has been hiding in plain sight. It's been with you this entire time, but it's almost like you forgot where you put the instructions to it. And so we're going to start to reactivate that part of you today. When we dive into the mind tomorrow, you're going to see just how powerful your creative abilities are. And then, like I said, on the final day, we're putting it all together so that you can really feel confident in these three perspectives. So, we're going to talk today about what I wish I knew 10 years ago when I was struggling to figure out how to be happy, how to find my purpose, how to manifest, or how to create when things feel uncertain. So I'm curious, all of you are here because you want to manifest something more in your life. And so we've had a few of these intentions that are just so beautiful, but I would love to know what you would like more of in your life. Is it more love? Is it more money? Is it more purpose? Is it more fulfillment? Is it something specific? Is it like a car or a house? I would love to know in the chat. You can just type it in really quick. What do you desire? What feels like something that you are calling into your life? For some of you, it's alignment, creating your own experiences, love, abundance, achieving your goals without fear, success. Beautiful. And I'm curious now, why do you want the things that you want? I just want you to think about this for a moment. Like, why do you want what you want? Melanie wants love and divine purpose. Beautiful. More connection to self, confidence. hmm So this is like a little bit of a trick question. Why do you want what you want? We only desire something because we believe that having it will feel good or because it's nagging me. Yeah. You want what you want because you imagine that in the receiving of it, it will feel good. It will make you happy. It will feel exciting. It will feel alive. Kathleen wants a healthy marriage, wealth, purpose. I want it because it would make me happy. Abundance in career and love. Yeah. We only want things. Ray wants to revamp our whole life. Peace and fulfillment. Yeah, that's why we want things. We want what we want. We want to manifest more. We desire because it allows us to feel good. It allows us to feel alive. It allows us to feel like more of ourselves. It feels like what I'm missing and yearning for in my life. Yeah. Having the things that we want allows us to feel more complete, more whole. It allows you to be more you. You don't want something because you think it's going to hurt you. You don't want something because you think it's going to be bad for you. You don't want something just because somebody else wants something. And if you do want something because somebody else wants something, it's likely because you imagine that you're going to have a particular feeling in receiving it. So it's this sense of freedom, it's this sense of fulfillment, it's this sense of expression of ourselves, which is why we desire more, which is why we want to manifest in the first place. And so remember what I said about truth. It resonates. It feels a certain way. Truth feels like peace, like joy, like balance, like clarity, like you. It feels like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That resonates. It's like you're on the same channel. It's like it connects. And so that good feeling, that happy feeling, that feeling of wholeness, all of that is an internal experience that is represented by an external goal. But at the end of the day, the thing that you want is because of a feeling. You don't just want a Maserati because it's a Maserati. You want a Maserati because driving it would be fun. It would feel free. There would be a feeling of success. There would be a feeling of accomplishment. There would be a feeling of arrival or whatever it might be. You don't want love just to have a body in your bed. You want love so that you can feel more of yourself, more of your heart. You can be witnessed. You can be connected. So, all of the outside things that we experience or that we desire is because we want to have an internal experience of it. And the things that we desire resonate with a part of us that is in alignment with that. Even if we're not able to get it, even if there's some blocks or some things in the way, we want it because we recognize that there's a feeling that it will give us that it is missing, that is a part of us, that is meant to be a part of us. So that feeling, that energy is what moves in your body. So who determines what that feeling feels like, or who determines what that feeling is? You. Me. Your awareness of the feeling. It's a society, JK. Thank God for the JK. I was like, oh, we need to have a little bit of deeper conversation here. You get to determine what it feels like in your body. So you get to determine what that resonance is. So there's this famous quote by Nikola Tesla that says that if you want to find the secrets of the universe, you have to think in terms of energy, of frequency, and of vibration. That's it. It's not like how to get the guy or how to get the job. It's not the tactics. It's the energy, it's the frequency, it's the vibration, it's the recognition that there are feelings that are happening inside of you that are helping you to resonate or determine what is in resonance with you, what you are meant for. Because everything is energy. You may have heard this before. If you're hearing it for the first time, everything is energy. You might think that this is all solid, but if you zoom in close enough, you will see that everything is just vibrating. There's like 0.00000000000.1% of all of this that is actually matter. And that matter, when you zoom into it, is even more energy just conglomerated together. So that animating force that I was talking about before, that energy, you can call it God, you can call it source, you can call it infinite consciousness, divine energy, however you want to describe it. That invisible animating force that holds all of the planets in place, that gives life to all that is, that animates our human forms, that is the energy that moves through us. That spark of divinity is source energy, which is what I call your soul. And while you cannot see it, you 100% can feel it. You can sense it. You can know when something makes you feel happy. You can know when something doesn't feel good through the vibrations that you feel in your body. So these vibrations that you feel in your body are what connect you to everything, the entire universe. And truthfully, your body is like the smallest part of you. Outside of your body is a magnetic field, your aura, that is constantly picking up energy from other people, other places, from the planets, from the environment. And that is constantly informing your experience. But most of us have not been dialed in to fine tune our frequency vibration translation machines, our bodies, to be able to receive that information. We get them in bigger doses, like happy or sad. We know like those are vibrations, but there is an infinite amount of information that is constantly being transmitted to you. So I want to share this first spiritual step with you that is a refinement of my own process that came through in a meditation. It was literally a download that opened my mind to a deeper perspective. I've been doing this work for 10 years. The Live Free method that I've created is a powerful way to create in your life, but this extra um, aspect of it that dropped in allows it to make so much more sense on a profound level. So, this first tenet or this first spiritual step is to recognize that through the body, the soul is made manifest. So, you are not your body. You have a body, but you are not your body. You are the awareness of your body. Your body can't operate without you, your consciousness, your soul. The version of you that is alive and present here is very different from just your body. And we know the difference because if you've ever been in contact with a dead body, whether it's like a loved one, even an animal, you recognize that there's a part of them that leaves and then the body is just left there. The animating force, the power, the energy, the awareness, the consciousness that is you is the true you. That is your spiritual superpower. That is the part that is connected to everything in the universe, that is connected to this room. That's the part of you that drew you to this experience, that curiosity, that wonderment, that intuition. That is the real you. That is the true you. but it gets buried under all of the noise, all of the voices, all of the conditions that we've learned and that we've adopted throughout our lifetime. And we're going to talk so much more about that tomorrow when we talk about the mind and the gap between your desires. But right now, what I want you to understand is that your body is a vibration translation machine. It is the greatest gift. Your soul speaks through energy. Your soul is energy, and it speaks through energy in motion. Energy in motion, vibration, frequency. Energy in motion is what we call emotion. Your emotions, feelings. Your feeling is the secret, the first secret in manifestation. How something feels. The only reason you want it is because you think it's going to feel a certain way. And that feeling is in resonance with something that feels good within you. That means that is resonating as truth. That means that it is meant for you. So the life, the love, the peace, the abundance, the career, the purpose, the wealth, the connection to self, the confidence, success. Those are all things that are true for you. Those are all things that are real for you. Those are all things that are available for you. So if they're available, why don't I have them now? We're getting into that. Your desires are letting you know what is available to you, what is possible for you. And so when you express more of this real you, this true essence of yourself, that's when you align with the frequency of what you are meant to receive. So right now, you might have some desires, but you also have this idea of like, well, it's not here yet, so it must not be possible, or I don't know how, or whatever the story is around that. But your soul is constantly trying to wake you up from all of those stories of, I can't, I'm not enough, I need to do more, I should do this instead. Your soul is constantly sending you signals through whispers, through intuition, through curiosity, that's letting you know that there is a path that is not the linear path of your mind, that is not the linear path that your parents set out for you, that is not the linear path that society states for you, but there is a unique path that you are meant to follow throughout your life to be able to receive and to be able to manifest all of these beautiful things that you desire. Your soul is always whispering to you. It is always telling you. It is like fielding all of this information through your auric field, and it is resonating with that information. But if you're too stuck in your head or if you're too committed to a path of shoulds, you're going to miss it. You're not going to hear the sounds. You're not going to hear the whispers. And so learning how to feel the truth in your body and how it resonates is so important because that is your internal GPS. That is your spiritual superpower, your feelings. How something feels lets you know if it's for you or if it's not for you. And so this is where emotional intelligence is so profoundly important because we have this one body, we have this one nervous system, but we have these two parts of ourselves. We have our soul, this divine essence, and then we also have this human part that's like, I got to keep this physical vessel alive. So we're getting information from the human part of us that is trying to survive, that is trying to stay alive, that is just coded for safety, that only observes limitation. And then we have this other part that is like, everything is available to me. I'm infinite. I'm powerful. I'm worthy. I'm abundance. I'm success. I'm love. I'm wealth. And there's a disconnect between these two. And there's messages coming from both of these aspects of ourselves through this one nervous system. And so it's so important to know the difference between your intuition, what your soul is speaking, and your fears, what your human is saying. And fears are more often than not ideas in the mind than they are actual physical dangers. It's the potential of what could happen that creates fear. versus on the soul side, it's the potential of what could happen that creates desire. So, which channel are you allowing yourself to tune into? And there's no shame in tuning into fear. It's literally how we're programmed to survive. It's literally what we learn. It's what's passed down to us first. Our parents are like, no, 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 don't do that. Be careful. Watch out. This is bad. This is wrong. We hear more of that and we're coded with more of that than we are. You can do it. This is good. Try it out. Go for it. So, through the body, the soul is made manifest. That energy, that source energy is constantly, constantly, constantly flowing unless it gets blocked. And how do you think we block it? How do we think we block our desires? How do we think we block what's meant for us? How do you think we block our truth? We block it when we trade the internal experience, yeah, negative talk. We block it when we trade the internal experience of our truth for an external experience. When we put the power outside of ourselves instead of inside of ourselves. And I'll give you a story of how this manifests. So, through the body, the soul is made manifest. That's the first spiritual principle. Our soul is manifest in this body to come to this planet to experience more of ourselves in physical form, to experience what is in resonance with us, the things that we desire, the things that feel like love, that feel like abundance, that feel like wholeness, that feel like joy. They feel good to us because they are our truth. The spiritual, energetic essence of us is that high frequency. And we're smooshed into this like dense, lower frequency body on this planet with duality that helps us to find our space in the middle. But we're taught constantly all of these negative things. We learn through polarity, we learn through duality, like I read at the outset. We know the difference between a lie and the truth because we experience both. We experience one that feels like contraction, and then we experience one that feels like expansion. So we know up from down, right from wrong. This energy is constantly flowing through us, though, this pure potential energy of love, of joy, of abundance, of fulfillment, of success, and is whispering to us, go here, try this, say yes. And when we follow that path, we find ourselves in rooms where we feel more of that truth. We feel the resonance. We feel the aha moments. We feel activated. We feel empowered. We feel inspired. That's how you know you're on the right path. But how many times have you had that feeling and then you shut it down? Well, I don't know. That doesn't really make sense. I don't know how it's going to work out. Or so and so says I should do this, or my mom thinks this is the best way, or my aunt said that this is the way you do things. We block that energy. We shut down that flow. And that manifests as well, because the truth is you are constantly manifesting, whether you're conscious of it or not. Your energy is constantly directing your experience and calling more in alignment to that experience. And so, in my experience, I was this very open, very spiritually connected little being when I got here on the planet. Most of us are highly intuitive, highly empathic, born into a dysfunctional family. So, how safe do you think I felt with those intuitive gifts and those empathic gifts? It felt overwhelming. And so, eventually, I had to start closing down my ability to feel because it just became too painful. And I got used to just operating from this small part of myself, which was the part that allowed me to navigate the turmoil in my household safely without feeling too much, without pissing anybody off, with like learning to be a people pleaser and a perfectionist so that I can function in dysfunction. But the truth of me was this expanded, intuitive, empathic being that was like confined to this small version of myself. And so, how does the soul manifest when it's being blocked and when it's being contorted? It manifests through that blocked and contorted energy. So, I had migraines as early as 6 and 7 years old, digestive issues for most of my youth. That anxiety, that stress created a manifestation in my body. And there were moments where there was like more expansion available to me, but most of my upbringing was through repression. I picked a job, not the one that I desired. I wanted to teach and to travel and to inspire, but I picked a job that was practical because I was told that that's not a practical way to live, to just travel and explore and teach and figure it out. You need to have a purpose. You need to have a plan. You need to have a career. You need to have benefits. You need to have a retirement fund. And then maybe when you're 60, you get to enjoy some of your life. But adulting means you follow the checklist. You get married, you have kids, you go to school, blah, 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 all of those things. Check, 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 check. And so this version of me that was inspired and expansive, again, contracted even more. Instead of doing the thing that I wanted to do, I picked the job that was practical. And I was good at it. And I was still able to manifest quite a bit of success doing things that way. But through the body, the soul is made manifest. And that contracted energy manifested into all kinds of distorted manifestations: anxiety, depression, and eventually disability. Continuing to not listen to the whispers of my soul, continuing to buy into my fears, to continuing to buy into what everybody outside of me told me versus the truth in my soul, left me with a disabling nerve condition that ended my career. But it also awakened me to my spiritual power. So sometimes the things that look like the worst manifestations in our lives are actually our greatest breakthroughs. They're the potential, the possibility for us to come into authentic alignment with who we really are. And in that alignment, we start to create what we are actually meant for. So, what seemed like the end of the world with losing my job and my career, being on disability for many years, eventually that awoke in me to a power that I had locked away and that I had forgotten about for many, many years. While I was the high achieving, people pleasing perfectionist who was able to manifest some really beautiful things, I had a good looking husband. We had a couple of houses. We had cars. We went on vacations. We did all of the things that looked good, but it didn't feel good. There was always something missing. And that missing piece was me, the truth of me, my authentic self, my soul. And so when everything fell apart, I had no other option, no other availability, but to recognize that there was something else, that there was something more. And I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm not saying that you have to like everything has to fall apart in your life for you to finally start manifesting. But what I'm saying is that there are two ways to manifest: one in alignment with your truth, and one that is in alignment with a false version that you've created to adapt, to survive. Through the body, the soul is made manifest. The way to differentiate which way you're manifesting is to become emotionally aware, to become emotionally intelligent. And so noticing, how do you feel in your life? How do you feel in the things that you're doing? How do you feel in your job? How do you feel in your relationship? How do you feel day to day as you're taking actions? That's important information. That is valuable information into how and what you're manifesting. And so that first spiritual principle deepened what I had already created inside of the Live Free method. So if you don't know what the Live Free method is, it is a powerful methodology that I created for myself as I rebuilt my life from scratch. At 30 years old, disabled, depressed, going through a divorce, left the church and everything that I had ever known, and I was forced to rebuild my life from scratch. I say forced, but truly looking back at it now, it was the greatest gift that I ever received. It was the opportunity to rebuild in alignment. And because I wasn't able to work and I was getting disability insurance as my subsidy for my income, I made it my full-time job to figure this shit out. I made it my purpose. I made it my mission to figure out who I really was, what I really wanted, and a way for me to achieve it. And that became the Live Free method. It took me 5 years of therapy, of shadow work, of metaphysic work, of energetic work, of all of the modalities that I could research to create this powerful methodology that allows you to answer those big questions. Who am I? What do I want? And how am I meant to get it? And so I'm going to break down the first few steps for you because it's so powerful. It's 8 steps in total that you use over and over again. This is the work that I continuously do over and over again to get to my next level because it includes the emotional intelligence, it includes the spiritual activation, it includes the subconscious reprogramming, which is what we're going to talk about tomorrow. And it includes the liberation that allows you to show up as your full and authentic self. And so, Live Free, LIVEFREE, is an acronym that I have tattooed on my ribs as a commitment to this lifestyle, to living from this place of alignment with my soul, free from my fears, free from society's stories, free from the mountain of shoulds that I had been climbing for the first 30 years of my life, free from the limitations that kept me from having what I actually desired. So I'm going to give you the first 3 steps of this methodology. Tomorrow, we're going to go into the next 3. And then on Friday, we're going to finish with the last 2 so that you have this framework. It's also the basis of my book. And the first is to listen for the whispers. L, listen for the whispers. Listen for the whispers of your soul. This is how you start differentiating between the fears that have been imprinted in you, the ideas that society tells you, the expectations of your parents, of the people around you. Listening for the whispers, learning to tell the difference between what is your truth and what is a lie, what is something else that somebody is projecting onto you. So, this is where you dive into your subconscious to see what fears are lurking in there. And this is like work that continues to show up every next level you encounter, because every time you step outside of your comfort zone, there's immediately fear. But everything that you desire is outside of your comfort zone. Otherwise, you would already have it. It would already be a part of your experience. So the success, the love, the abundance, all of that is outside of your current circle. So going to get it is going to activate fears within you. Otherwise, you would already have it. It's going to call you to your next level. And so listening for the whispers, learning to differentiate these 2 parts of yourself, your soul and your human, and not shaming your human or not like judging your human, but recognizing that you have the power to bring your human along on this experience. Through the body, the soul is made manifest. It's not like we discard the body and it's just the soul. We bring the body along, but it requires a certain methodology. It requires a certain awareness and a certain understanding of how to create that strong relationship, uniting your soul and your body, or your soul and your mind, or your human and your spirit, however you want to call it. So listen for the whispers. That's the first one. Identify the fears that are keeping you stuck. The second is intention is key. Nothing happens without intention. You first intend and then you act. So, setting a powerful context for your life through an intention. What do you intend for yourself? We talked about the intention at the beginning of this. Some of you said some really beautiful intentions. So, that context, that intention creates the umbrella for the actions that you're going to take. If your intention is to learn more about manifestation, you're going to participate in a way that allows you to learn. If your intention is just to like sit and chill and not really do anything, that's going to be your experience. So intention creates the identity of who and how you're going to show up. So we want to create an intention that is aligned with your true self, that is aligned with your power, that is aligned with your desires. And then the third step, V, validate your feelings. Validate your feelings. So many of us, especially as women, I find, we think that not feeling feelings is power. If I'm tough, if I don't let them know that I'm vulnerable, then nothing can hurt me. But if you don't allow yourself to be vulnerable, if you don't allow yourself to be open, if you don't allow yourself to feel your feelings, you have no way of knowing what is for you and what is not. So, learning to validate your feelings, this was one of the most powerful practices that I adopted. Understanding what was moving through me as energy, the energy and motion that I was constantly in. And then recognizing that I'm able to orient myself to a different vibration, a different energy, once I'm aware of what's happening inside of me. So, for those of us who have been buttoned up and who have been repressed or who have not allowed ourselves to feel, this is so, so important in manifestation. So, these first three steps, listen for the whispers, intention is key, validate your feelings. This is the beginning of the methodology that allows you to manifest, but it's under the spiritual philosophy or the under the spiritual principle of through the body, the soul is made manifest. So, tomorrow, we're going to dive deeper into what it is you want. We're going to dive deeper into the mind, into the subconscious, into those fears, into what blocks you from being able to create and what empowers you to be able to create. Because you are always creating. You have created the circumstances that are currently your experience. You have created the reality that you are currently living in. Unconsciously, most likely. But now that you're becoming more aware, now that your consciousness is expanding, you're going to be able to direct your creation into more of what you want and less of what you don't. And that is your greatest power, to be the conscious creator of your reality. So, tomorrow we're going to talk about the second spiritual principle. We're going to talk about the next three steps of the methodology, and we're going to dive into more of what you want. So, as we wrap up today, I would love to leave you with something to think about, with a little bit of homework to do. And I want you to think about, who am I? Ask yourself that question. Who am I? And think about it from a deeper lens. I don't want you to think about like, I'm a daughter, I'm a mother, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm a massage therapist. I don't want you to think about the titles of what you do. I want you to think about, who are you, that deeper core aspect of yourself. Who am I? And who do I want to be? And then I also want you to think about, what do you believe is possible? What do you believe is possible for you? And what fears might you have around that? Because the truth is, everything that you desire is already created. You don't have to like create something. Everything that you want is already here. The man of your dreams, he is somewhere walking the world. The money that you want, it is being circulated right now, probably in Vegas with Aisha. There is money everywhere. There are people everywhere. The people that are meant for you, the clients that you're meant to serve, the success that you're meant to have, that exists already. We're going to talk about how to bring that into your world tomorrow and on Friday as well. So think about these three things. Who am I? Who do I want to be? And what do I think is possible, or what do I believe is possible? And then we're going to talk tomorrow about how the mind creates, or how the mind allows you to experience those things. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your attention, your presence, your awareness. I would love to hear how this has landed for you, what has moved in you, what energy is present, has come up for you. You can feel free to drop it in the chat, or you can reply to any one of the emails that you're going to get sent out. The replay is going to be sent out to you, so you'll have access to that. And I'm so excited to see you for tomorrow for day 2. All right, my loves. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your presence, for being here. Thank you for showing up live for yourself. Melanie says it confirmed some of the things I felt or what that quiet voice inside has been telling me. Yes, 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 yes. That is telling you the truth. So we're going to dive deeper into that tomorrow, and I can't wait. I will see you all tomorrow. Bye. Bye, bye. You're so welcome.